Hi Rachel, thank you for joining me at eTimes. The entire team is very happy, that you're corona free finally, and you told us this afternoon when I was talking to you all about the result coming negative. तो अभी आप बताइए ये ऑर्डील आपका कहाँ से शुरू हुआ और आपको कब लगा कि कुछ प्रॉब्लम है that you need to go to the doctor.
एक्चुअली जब कलकत्ता में जब मेरा शूट खत्म हुआ यहाँ पे उसके बाद ही कुछ दिनों के बाद आई वाज नॉट फीलिंग वेल. आई हैड फीवर एंड एज आई टोल्ड यू आई वाज हैविंग अ फीवर कोल्ड. I was having breathlessness. So then I called up my doctor in Bombay and I told her that, this is what it is. And she prescribed me antibiotics. And then I told her that I had just been part of a shooting crew for the last 15 days. So when she heard that, she said, okay, we'll take a call on whether we need to get a test or something. Tomorrow you keep updating me. So then I had started my antibiotics, and the next day also in the evening, I wasn't feeling better. Rather, I started having diarrhea. And that's when I told her that, now this has also happened. And that's when she heard and she said, no, nothing doing. Now you have to get a test done. So you please, get it done in Calcutta. And then, of course, then finally I got the test done. And then my antibiotics were already on. I was almost starting to, kind of respond well to the antibiotics. I was starting to feel a little better. And then the result came that it was positive. And then of course, I told her and she said, okay, now you'll need a specialist. So, find a doctor in Calcutta for yourself and, just take it forward from there. So, yeah.
But was it easy to get the test done? I mean, the prescription part of it, and you could go through easily, because some people always find initially in those days, in the beginning, they were finding it very tough to even get a prescription from their doctors if one felt like going for a test.
Yeah.
Was it easy in Calcutta?
Actually, I wasn't really expecting that the doctor is going to ask me to get the test done. So when she did, of course, she's been my regular physician for many years. So she knows that, my immunity is like a magnet that attracts all possible infections. So I think that's the reason she kind of suspected that I should be getting the test done. And of course, like I told you, since I was at work in Cal. And then, of course, getting the test done, I'll be very honest with you, because I don't want to, give any kind of wrong information that, and make it look like a rosy picture when it's not. It was not easy getting the test done. I had to literally, call up many, many places. Most of the places, it was not easy to even get an appointment. There were places where I was told that, come day after tomorrow, early morning, and wait here in a queue from 8 in the morning. And then we'll see if we'll get your test done. And of course, I didn't know what else to do because I couldn't find any way out. And then I called, in Calcutta, somebody who's a very respected author and an editor of a, newspaper. I called him up and I told him that, Dada, this is the problem and I need to get a test done. I'm in Kolkata. And then, of course, he put me on to this hospital, and that's when my test was done. And after that, the next evening the report came. So it's not that easy is what I'm saying. That I really wish that it was kind of
simpler,
easier to get your test, and it was a more simpler and a faster process.
Yeah. So the moment you got to know, I mean, can I just ask you, what was your first feeling? I mean, it must have sunk in immediately, but what was the impact? What did you feel?
I was very shocked, to be honest, because since I told you that I was already responding well to the antibiotics, I was really hoping that, my test would come negative, because whoever I was discussing with that, I had to get the test done itself, they were telling me that no, it's going to be negative. Don't worry. It's fine. It's just, the weather and things like that. And so when I was literally like preparing that the moment the test comes negative, I'm going to take the next flight back to Bombay and, it's the end of it. But suddenly, to my utter shock, it came positive. And I really didn't know what to do because the night my report came, I was just crying all night. I was just crying all night. I couldn't think straight. There were so many things that were flashing in front of my eyes, like I was blaming myself for taking a job because, I was like, oh, I wish you didn't travel to Cal, then maybe you would have not got it. Maybe you should have just, sat down in the house and not stepped out. So all of those, of course, I mean, it doesn't make sense. You can't be at home and, just think that you're protected because now there's nothing, foolproof when it comes to COVID. There are so many different, theories about it every single day that nothing is really proven. So even at home, if you're sitting at home, it's possible. I've heard of many cases that, they've got while they were just at home. So I was just very, very shocked and I was just, kind of in disbelief, if I could say, because I'm always so careful and I'm all the time taking precautions. Even the shoot that I was in, they were taking all the required precautions. So I really didn't see it coming.
So obviously you called your mom first, I guess, and told her about this.
Yeah, I didn't call her, but I just messaged the report to her and to my sister. And then, I told them, and like, I was really not in a position to even talk to them because I was just feeling like, for some time I was even thinking that my report was fake. I was in so much of denial.
एक बार और करते हैं, second.
Yeah, I thought faulty kit है, कुछ है, तो, मेरा तो ऐसा हो नहीं सकता है, मैं इतना precaution लेती हूँ, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है. But
destiny, cruel destiny. But then how in the whole night you were crying, but in the morning, how did you eventually sort this out and make up your mind that okay, I have to fight it out?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'd spoken to a couple of friends who kind of, just made me calm down. And then we were like, I realized that now, I need to now take the next step. I need to find a doctor. I need to figure out what is to be done.
Mm-hmm.
So the next morning I got into all of that. I, found myself a doctor and I spoke to him, and he had started he told me all the precautions that I need to take at home, and for the treatment at home, the things that you're supposed to do, he had explained all of those things to me.
Can you tell us what exactly were you doing for the benefit of those who are in this anxiety and perhaps even tested positive and are listening to you?
Actually, I was thinking today that, like a friend of mine was telling me that, after this, you'll be able to give advice to people and things like that. But then I realized that when I was, fighting it out, there were 2 or 3 people simultaneously who I knew, had COVID, like in different cities. A very close friend of mine and her husband in Bangalore. There was another person in Calcutta. And when I was talking to them, I saw each person was, having different symptoms. And like in my case, I was already feeling better. And then suddenly I had this breathlessness, and, I was literally feeling like there was a rock in my throat and on my chest. I was not being able to breathe. And when I was checking up all the information online on, COVID symptoms, I had seen that severe symptoms included, shortness of breath. And then I was at home getting treated. So that kind of scared me, and I didn't know, what exactly was happening, because even when I spoke to the doctor, he, asked me to check my oxygen level. And when I checked it, it was borderline. So he said that, with this, I think you need to, come to the hospital and get admitted, come to the emergency. So I told him that, if I'm being able to sit straight and, tell you what my problem is, I think I will be able to, sort this in the house. So tell me what to do, because I don't know what the situation is in the hospital. And, because all over the world right now, the healthcare system itself is on oxygen, and very soon it might go on ventilator if things don't improve. So I really wasn't sure whether I wanted to go to the hospital or not. And then I started keeping a track, and of course I got myself the oxygen cylinder at home. I was administering oxygen for myself for the first time. I had not even in the past checked my oxygen level ever. So this was a first. And it was very confusing because each person was just telling me, different things. One friend of mine, she told me that she had no symptoms except for nausea. There was somebody who said that, they had persistent fever for 7 days. So I really didn't know, who to listen to and what to go by, whose advice to follow. There were lots of people, telling me what I should be doing at home. But it's not very easy, because I think this is the first time in my life that I really experienced, what we call the fear of the unknown. I had not seen it before. So it's very scary when you don't know what to expect. You're not too sure. The doctor is also, just going to treat you based on your symptoms. And if that kind of worsens, then, you don't know, you're just left hanging. And then I was alone in Calcutta also. So that again kind of was playing in my mind.
Anxiety levels.
So I think the best thing is that if I have to tell anybody what to do, then I would say that, just be confident on your doctor. If you know you have a good doctor,
have faith in
stick to him and don't listen. Yeah, don't listen to anybody else, because right now there are way too many, things going around about this.
And the worst is according to me, when people start looking up for information today of every single thing on the internet, and there are different versions in every post, there are different versions, and so much of information is only confusing. There's too much of information.
It's like
obviously,
literally putting a magnifying glass on it and getting more into details.
Yeah, because all of it doesn't apply to anybody. It could be anything. It's just not COVID I'm talking about. And there's so much of information that finally you end up only confusing yourself.
Yeah, it was, because also like every time, because of course I was using my phone, the doctor would be on video call checking me, checking the color of my nails and my eyes and things like that, and all of those things. And then, people used to all the time message and say, oh, how are you feeling? I think today you should be feeling better. Oh, it's been 4 days. I think today you should be feeling better. Or, like if I'm telling somebody that I'm feeling better right now, but then actually after 2 hours, you're not.
Yeah.
So it's so unpredictable. Like, you wake up in the morning and you feel like, okay, finally the medicines have kicked in. And from today onwards, I'm going to see an improvement. But after 1 hour, you realize that your oxygen levels have really have dropped very badly. Like the doctor had told me if it's 94, I should be in hospital. Mine was 83 in the house. So
97 is the optimum.
It's very confusing. Yeah.
So tell me, were there any mornings you got up with a groggy head or, with very acute discomfort? Were there nights when you were not able to sleep, maybe due to some symptom or due to anxiety? Anything especially happening in the early part of the day or the latter part of the day when you were just about to retire for it?
No, I don't really think it's that way, that, you feel different in the morning and at night. But so because, the medicines that the doctor kind of put me on, they included, everything from your appetite to your lungs to anti-flu to everything. So most of them have some little bit of anti-allergic component to it also, which kind of, makes you drowsy.
Okay.
So because of that, I used to, like even wake up in the morning feeling that, I'm just, still feeling very drowsy. And obviously, because of that lack of oxygen, there were days when, my entire body used to feel like a tingling sensation. My head is spinning and my ears are blocked, like as if I'm on high altitude. It was really scary when, when you're feeling that way, and especially when you're in the house, because you know that either the next moment you have to be better, or you need to sit in an ambulance and just go. So it's not day and night, I would say.
Thankfully, you had a caretaker, Rachel. But tell me one thing: how did you, or rather, let me ask you, how many days did it take for the oxygen levels to, you know, get back to normal?
uh Actually, I finally saw an improve in my health after 10 days.
Hmm.
After the first 10 days of, almost completing
Hmm.
3 rounds of antibiotics and all medicines. So it's only after 10 days that I started seeing a change. And the doctor had said that after 8, 9 days, you'll start seeing an improvement. So
Hmm.
there is no need to panic as such.
Any restrictions on diet you had and have now?
No, not really, because they say that, like with COVID, they say that one of the later symptoms is that, you may have a loss in appetite. So the doctor was giving me medicines to make me feel hungry, because he said it's possible that later you might not start feeling hungry. So अगर आप oxygen level के लिए hospitalize नहीं हो रहे हो, तो शायद नहीं खाने की वजह से आपको hospitalize होना पड़े.
Hmm.
Because if you stop eating, then you will have to, kind of take those drips in the hospital. So because of those tablets to feel hungry, I used to feel so hungry sometimes that I used to just like overeat.
Hmm. So no restrictions now in diet. Non-veg,
No,
oil कम खाना है, nothing of that sort.
मैं तो नॉन वेज खाती भी नहीं हूँ, मैं वेजिटेरियन हूँ.
Hmm.
बट ऐसा कुछ नहीं, ऑयल एंड ये सब से तो नथिंग. आई थिंक जस्ट food that kind of helps to strengthen your immunity, and taking your multivitamins and doing breathing exercises at home. So those kind of things.
Any kind of self introspection you did during this period, you know, when we are unwell and when we are down and when we are anxious, you know, we tend to, you know, go back on certain days of our life and maybe I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have done that, life is uncertain. Any kind of, did you talk to yourself in those lonely days and nights? I mean, your mother was also not meeting you, obviously, because you know, you had kept her away uh, because it could be a case of transmission. So when you were alone, did you do all that? I mean, talking to yourself, maybe coming up with some, okay, underlining a few things. I won't do this now, I won't do this, I'll change this way. ये सारा कुछ हुआ?
No, actually not really. I mean, I kind of, usually have trouble with my health.
Hmm.
So, I mean, once a year, I do an annual visit to the hospital. So, I don't really have that kind of introspection. But yes, this time, for the first time, like when I was coming to Calcutta, when I said yes to the job, that time, like my sister and I, we were discussing, and she said that, maybe you should not take up the job and it's not safe and all
To
of that.
the Bengali web
And
series that you were doing, yeah.
yeah, and I just, I remember that time because it's exactly 1 month something. And that time there were total 2 lakh cases in India. So I just told her that, in a population of 135 crores, 2 lakh people have only got it. So why
Hmm.
should I be worrying so much? And,
Hmm.
life
Hmm.
has to go on and I must get back to work. I know it comes from a place of being restless and
Hmm. Hmm.
frustrated,
Hmm.
being at home, to suddenly coming and actually becoming one of those +1 numbers added to that figure. it was a really kind of it was a bit of a shocker for me, because I really couldn't believe that, it had happened. And then, so because of that, I used to really feel pathetic. And like I told you that, every time you're not sure about something, it kind of makes you, scared. So that's the reason that fright was there. And I just was like, you know, I think it was just that, like, just being in a situation where you don't know what to expect. You don't know sometimes, when you're looking around and all, what is going on. So that kind of troubled me a little bit. But then I was just, after a point, when you don't have any option, you just have to go with the flow. And again, for the first time ever in my life, I was feeling like like an untouchable, if I may use the word, because I felt like, if I may be out, maybe I might put other people to risk. What if, before my test, I've already put somebody to risk? So there was that feeling of guilt as well.
Mm. But tell me, okay, you didn't do any self introspection, fine. Did you start talking to God? Why me? Why me?
I always talk to God.
You
I'm a
lost faith
very
in God for some
God-fearing
days.
person.
You lost faith in God for some days. You were angry with Him. These things happen. It's human nature.
No, in fact, before my test happened, I did that Sukha Mirchi se Nazar Utarna. While my test was happening, my sister was saying the Rosary and the Navina in Bombay. So I was like literally praying and, God, be on my team. Don't let me get it. So I've never ever, I believe that I'm very, connected to God. And there's never a moment that I feel that, He's kind of left my side or anything. I think somewhere, if I'm, physically weak, I'm mentally very strong. And I always believe that, it's going to be fine. You just have to, hold on and believe and just, kind of uh, show some strength.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, any lingering symptoms, Rachel? Now that you tested negative, but any lingering symptoms?
The throat and the headache is still there, because of which I was, still, there was a small little question mark in my head that maybe it might come positive again because of that. But then thankfully that never happened. I'm still on some medication. So I'm hoping that, in a few days it's absolutely fine.
So, what's next on the work list, and when are you expected back in Mumbai?
I will be back to Bombay next, I think, by the end of coming week.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And right now, I was shooting a web series in Calcutta. 2 seasons of it I've already done in the past. So, this is the 3rd season, and I'm really looking forward to it. And so, that way, slow and steady, whenever work kind of takes off properly, I hope, it's good for all of us.
How would you describe your journey? I mean, if I was to conclude with that question, how would you describe your journey in modeling and Bollywood industry, and the fact that you also did some Bengali movies, Beech Mein Kafi? How has the journey been? I mean, you haven't come from any uh, star family. Do you think you have faced a tough time, or do you think whatever you got has been so far so good and you're happy with it?
I'm happy with it, because when I came to Bombay, I didn't know anybody at all. I was working in Calcutta, and there are a lot of things like by choice also that, I kind of just followed my instincts when it came to my work. So initially, when I started modeling, I was not interested in doing movies, and there would be a lot of film offers that would come, but I was not interested because modeling kind of appealed to me more. So, I mean, I would say, yeah, it's not easy. But then at the same time, I will never ever let go of the fact that, there have been tons of opportunities as well. So I would kind of like to, focus on the opportunities also that come our way, rather than looking at, what has not come my way. Because I feel Bombay also is a city which we can proudly say gives everybody a first, second, third, fifth, innumerable chances whenever you're ready to go at it. So that is something which, I think I'm grateful as a person.
So are you saying that an outsider, maybe like you, or maybe someone else, does get equivalent number of chances as star kids do? Because there's this whole ongoing debate that they get more chances, you'll get fewer chances. It's tough to maneuver your way. And I mean, how do you see that? If you were to...
We don't get more chances. And very often it's also happened that, I've auditioned for a project and I've seen a well-known person, do it, or star kid has eventually done the role. Very often it has happened that I have done a project and, because the other actor is, part of a group, she is invited to the premiere of the film, whereas me being the, parallel lead, I have not been invited to the premiere of my own film. Or, there are times where you are bullied and you are sidelined after a project. Even if you've done a good job, the media will not write about you. Because all those things, it makes a difference to us. Like, if my last project is spoken about, well, and only then can I get the next job. It's like you're as good as your last film or your last job, as they say. So a lot of times, when if I'm being sidelined after a project, then, for me, the struggle starts again from square one. I have to go back and start the struggle again. So all those things happen. They do happen. But what I'm saying is that happens everywhere. That happens everywhere in the world. It's not a fair world at all. And I don't think, we can really fight and argue about trying to make the world paradise, because it's not going to be paradise. It is what it is. So you need to, just focus on how you can keep your head straight, how you can stay positive, how you can practice gratitude. And, मेरे हिस्से में जो आता है मैं वो लेके खुश हूँ. And I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to think that, if you've taken this, I have this much left for me. I'm happy with that much. And that's about it.
But this kind of attitude, was it prevalent even, say, a few years earlier? Or have you come to terms with it? Where there were days when there was immense frustration. Maybe you through your phone, or, you cried. Or have you come to terms with it now? Or were you always like that, contented?
I think experiences make you, come to terms with things. So as and when, you are experiencing certain things, you have to make sure, see how you are reacting to it. It's like, no matter what the situation is, it becomes worse or better depending on what your reaction to it is. And depending on, how much you let it make you bitter, or whether you learn a better lesson out of it and, move forward in a positive way. So if I'm like this, it's not because one fine day I've decided that, okay, I've given up and this is how it's going to be. It's not like that. It's like you've seen things, and then, you want to also, work, and you want to also be, in a good frame of mind and take care of your own, health. So you don't want to focus on those things at all. You don't want to let bitterness get to you, is all I'm saying.
Is this all coming from your learnings at the church, which I also, visit very often on Wednesdays, Mahim Church, Navina, where all these father gives his sermon and all, and it's really motivating? Or there was somebody in your family or in your friend circle who helped you out to understand this, before you just, plunged yourself into despair? No, you should not. So somebody held you by his or her hand and made you understand.
So I've had, like I said, that, your experiences shape you and your thoughts. So I think that is exactly what it is with me. And of course, living in Bombay for such a long time alone, there are a lot of times where, you need to get a grip of yourself. And I try to make a conscious effort to do that. And that's about it,
बस
like
वही मैं
I
वो
surround
ग्रिप के
myself.
बारे में ही मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ कि वो किसने आपको उस वक्त संभाला when you had your moments of, I mean, come on, it can't be that smooth a curve as you are saying,
Yeah.
as
No,
you're,
I
or as
surround
you're
myself
projecting,
with
let me,
some
if I can
nice,
put it that way.
positive people. No, not at all. In
No, because
fact,
see, even the, let me put it this way: even the topmost stars have been at times replaced. Even right from anybody to everybody, they have been signed, they have been replaced, they have been told they'll do the role. They may not have done it for some whatever reason. Maybe they backed out. Maybe the producer didn't want them. So, who was that guiding force? That's who gave you that
actually,
sense of
बहुत कुछ है वो तो
security to calm down.
experiences और वो सब चीजों से you get clarity of thought. You have to surround yourself, with good people and not toxic people. You have to have people who will motivate you, who are good, influences in your life.
Well wishers.
And by the grace of God, I've been able to do that. I've got some close friends who I know that whenever there is a roadblock or I am feeling like something is getting to me, like the experiences I told you about, that I've also had those experiences. It's not like I've not faced it. I've faced it innumerable times. I've faced it in my career. And there are a lot of times where it has made me very angry, and then I've come to terms with it that it's okay. What am I going to benefit by showing anger? I'm not going to, anger is not going to take me anywhere. Rather, I have to focus on my strengths. I have to play with that. So I'm not going to focus on who has made me bitter or anything. Like Bombay, I said, is also about opportunities. I'm going to focus on opportunities. I'm not going to focus on who tries to pull me down. I don't need to. They don't figure in my life at all. It's very clear that way.
I must ask you this. It just flashed across my mind before I say bye to you for now.
But I want to tell you one thing, that when this insider outsider thing that you were saying, the reason I have this kind of an approach to it, or this is what my outlook is, it's also because somewhere I feel that this whole tragic incident that happened, I really wish that the focus after that would be on suicide prevention and mental health, the importance of mental health and suicide prevention. Because if I have that kind of clarity of thought, it's because I have focused my mind into it. I've understood the importance of my mental health, so I have worked on it. But maybe if it's still like a taboo around and people don't want to, then maybe we should talk more about that. Like, how do you deal with a failure or with a bitter experience?
No, you come out as a very strong person, because though I made several attempts to ask you that who was guiding you and who was helping you out or whatever, but you always said that it was your experiences and your own self, that your own
कुछ भी नहीं, 2 दिन रो, बहुत जोर से रो, 3rd day आप fed up हो जाओगे रोते रोते, फिर 4th day आप वापस back to normal हो जाओगे. It's as simple as that.
Fine. So that question which was flashing across my mind before I say bye to you for now, as I said, what's your take on especially trolling? You also put out a lot of pictures on your Insta, and the latest ones, sometimes the old ones. Recently, Sonakshi Sinha has taken up the cudgels. Earlier, Ananya Pandey took up the cudgels against cyberbullying. And Sonakshi also said recently that if you see the DM of many actresses and people from the females from the glamour world, it is really like people will be sent to jail if they are really located. I mean, who is doing this? So What has your experience been? I mean, do you also get bombarded with all this crazy nonsense?
Yeah, it does happen. It does happen very often that, we receive very obscene, vulgar kind of messages and comments. Sometimes there's trolling. Yesterday, I think over a tweet, I was trolled. And, it's like, I just feel that it's okay to have an opinion. Everybody has an opinion, but it's very important to, realize how you express that opinion. अभी जो हो रहा है, लोग जैसे अपने ओपिनियन को एक्सप्रेस कर रहे हैं, प्रॉब्लम उसमें है, प्रॉब्लम ओपिनियन एक्सप्रेस करने में नहीं है. So that is where I see the issue is. Literally, people are, like, when this COVID thing happened, there were people who were writing to me, rest in peace in advance, and things like that. So I don't understand ki, like, if you don't like something or you don't like somebody's content or something, then just don't follow that person.
Yeah.
Like, if I see a mean comment or if I see something vulgar, मैं immediately block कर देती हूँ. I don't even wait to, reply or anything. I just go and block. And I really wish more people, of course, it's not possible when you have like millions of followers and all, it's not possible to trace every single comment.
Yeah.
But people really need to understand that, you cannot misuse and abuse this platform of, connecting with people, who you would usually not be able to on a one-to-one basis.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what I was asking you while you were telling this answer, that do you think this toxicity will ever end? I think it's just increasing too much on, the way people are trolling people and on obscenity. I mean, on your picture, or I mean, something that they don't like about you. कहाँ से कहाँ पहुँच जाता है?
I think more actors should go on a blocking mission. Like, keep 2 managers to track all their comments and just keep blocking. They should see that, people are on a blocking rampage and see what comes out of that. Because I feel most of the times people do this because they think that, I think sometimes they just feel cool, abusing you or something, and they think that it goes unnoticed. So I think they should just hit back. I'll block you now types. More people should block instead of letting it be. Because kabhi लगता है कि, India was not still ready for the social media wave. Maybe another 10 years or so, that way.
Yeah, it's so often.
And of course, you need stricter rules also about online abuse. I'm so glad the Sonakshi Sinha thing that you said, I saw it and I also shared it on my Instagram, because I feel that it's very important that, it should be taken strictly. So if something has happened like that, I should be able to go and complain, and the police must, register my complaint and take me seriously and not be like, it's just a silly complaint, comment, ignore karo, because maybe kuch logo ko example banana chahiye.
Full marks to Sonakshi and full marks to you, underlining that. I mean, just out of COVID, just a few hours back, and you're talking to me, you're talking to E-Times, and my entire team thanks you from here and wishes that, you are absolutely fit and fine and soon back in Mumbai. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you
for being here.
You'll also take care. I've been telling all my friends who have to, be out at work that, take precaution, even though sometimes it's not enough. And I'm so grateful to you that you, let me say my part of the story, so that even if it can, give some sort of clarity to anybody, I'll be very happy. So thank you.
Thank you. See you, Rachel.